I have been on a bunch of painkillers this week, and I bet you never even noticed. This is Ghost Driver 71, which I first read in a reprint from the 90s called The Original Ghost Driver Drives Again. I probably have that series somewhere. But I have this individual issue because it ties in with that Defenders run by Jim DeMatteis. It features one of the bad guys from that series in between appearances over in that book. And we get to see them gang up against Ghost Driver this time. This is written by Jim DeMatteis, obviously. And once again, even the artist is the same as on Defenders. It is quite an expanded run on Defenders. Loads of other books that fall into it. I should probably have done a complete reading order video or something for that run. For this issue, we are in the state of Illinois from that album. And there is a couple, a man and a woman. And the man, he is obviously angry. He is having a midlife crisis and he smashes his guitar, and then he goes off to visit a cliff. Presumably the implication is he wants to jump off it, but then he encounters a mysterious presence that we didn't see. We only see its shadow. Spoiler time. It is Null, the Living Darkness from Defenders 103. Meanwhile, Ghost Driver is with the circus again. There are too many comics about circuses. With Ghost Driver, this series went through so many changes. Its status quo and its setup. It was overhauled so regularly that you can pick an issue like this up and have no idea which setup you are going to have for Ghost Driver. In this, and I think in most of the original Ghost Driver Drives Again series, he was back performing with the circus, and that is the excuse for him being in Illinois, where that man, he is called Adam. Some subtext there probably. He has been taken over by Null, the Living Darkness. He has become like a vessel for Null. And he is spreading misery and darkness everywhere he goes. The worst part is that he kills a dog with his negative energy powers. Then he goes to the circus, the one that Ghost Driver is doing bike tricks at. And he goes to visit a fortune teller, and she offers to do a reading of tarot cards. And I was about to hate this comic with a passion, but it's okay, we didn't see any tarot cards. She just uses a crystal ball. I quite like this scene because immediately they establish in the captions that the fortune teller is a total fraud. That is much better than that Dairy Devil issue where Mark Wolfenstein as Uri Geller saved the day with his psychic talents. We have a flashback to Defenders 103, and we get all the backstory to Null about how he was born when an alien race of angels committed suicide. And now Null, the living darkness, he has come to Earth to plunge the planet into suicidal apathy. He wants to leave only the dead as rulers of a cosmos without meaning. That is a direct quote there. Leave only the dead as rulers of a cosmos without meaning. Actually, it might be the cosmos, not a cosmos. I do like Null the Living Darkness, but I've said before I have a soft spot for black tendril shadow monster designs. And I like that Null is an entity that I think Null is maybe underplayed in this and in Defenders. He should be like a big event bad guy, not a single issue bad guy. The next Defender story with him in is sort of that, but the first two appearances I think minimise his threat a tad bit too much. I see Null, the Living Darkness, as something that, like, Thanius should fight. Maybe because Jim Starman is a bit lazy, and most of the bad guys he has Thanius fight are black tendril shadow monster designs too. But I think this is a big conceptual bad guy, and having Ghost Driver or Etrigan the Demon defeat them in superhero style, it doesn't feel right. One thing I do want to say, and this usually goes without saying, comics were so much denser back then. While the price of comic books has gone up over the years, the amount of content has certainly gone down. Before I dipped out of comics, before I quit reading Marvel, it was always a mark of quality if an issue didn't feel short or it managed to pack a lot into the pages. This is only like halfway finished, and I feel like we have had at least one full modern day issue now. It is Ghost Driver versus Null the Living Darkness. And straight off the bat, we learn that Null, the Living Darkness, can actually hurt Ghost Driver, which would be a common complaint I have with Ghost Driver. You're never quite sure if he is ever really vulnerable to attacks. I would also say that this Ghost Driver, the Nicolas Cage version, not my favourite. I much prefer the 90s version. I think he is a much better character and far more relatable. But the problem is the original here has the much better story behind him becoming Ghost Driver. Ghost Driver is one of the few Marvel characters that I would say is like a DC character, where you have like the Flask or Green Lanterns, and it's not immediately obvious which version people are thinking of when they think of Ghost Driver. And here is the bit with the toppling statue that is on the cover. Oddly specific thing to focus on, and big up for the cover. And the statue is going to fall on the wife, but the pastor saves her. Remember the pastor? The character I definitely mentioned so far. And Ghost Driver, he does an exorcism and chases Null the living darkness from Adam's body. The end. Ghost Driver is always one of them books that it's more the case that it has some good issues rather than a consistent quality run. And I think this is one of those issues that works. I didn't much care for Ghost Driver as a character, but I thought this was completely readable. I'll give it 7 thumbs up.